So in this video, I'll be walking you through how I send 1,900 cold emails per day using secondary domains and secondary email accounts for cold email outreach. I'm Spencer Painter. I run an outbound lead generation agency. We help B2B local service businesses land more commercial deals, recurring and also pretty large deals for commercial cleaning, janitorial, facility services, commercial window cleaning, commercial Christmas light installation, companies that sell within their local service area that are B2B, essentially. This is the same system that we run for every client. So first, what is a secondary domain? A domain is what holds a website. So you can think of a domain as a website, but for example, had the company website abc.com. That's also the domain, but what is hosted is what you see, like their services, your pricing, what you do, blah, 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 when you land on the website. The domain is what holds it. Work email accounts are also held underneath the domain as well. So Spencer@abc.com, for example. What you're going to be doing for your scaled cold email infrastructure to have that email account rotation work is purchasing lookalike domains. For example, try abc.com will forward to abc.com or abcteam.com or abchq.com. Those are secondary lookalike domains that you would use for cold email outreach. These domains will be forwarding to that main website, main domain of yours. So abc.com, for example, also called redirecting. And the whole premise of using a secondary domain in the first place is that it protects your main domain reputation. So you won't have the risk of landing in the junk or the spam folder over time as you use email automation on your main email accounts and your main website. And eventually the domain reputation, the sender reputation diminishes, and then you just can't communicate with potential clients, and even worse, your existing clients. That's the worry of not using secondary domains. But really, why secondary domains? First thing is that one secondary domain cannot safely handle high volume. So you shouldn't be using just one secondary domain inside a smart lead. You should be using at least 10, at least 20. What we use is 22, which I'll go into more depth. But really, the more email accounts and the more sending volume on one individual domain or one individual secondary domain used, the higher chance and also quicker speed of having an email account or the fleet of email accounts within a domain going down and just going straight to the spam folder or getting blocked entirely because it's known as a high security threat or a commonly known spam source. What you do is you place many email accounts on many secondary domains to spread out and maximize your cold outreach. There's less risk and you can have more outreach and get to more people by just having a larger fleet of email accounts. The solution, at the very minimum for our clients, again, we work with B2B local service businesses, so it's really a timing thing. You need to be reaching out to the right person at the right time with the right message. So the way we go about it is we set up 22 secondary domains on our lowest package. That means 20 domains go to Google Workspace. These are Google Workspace email accounts, Gmail accounts, and we put 3 Gmail accounts on each domain. At the same time, we have 2 domains going to Microsoft 365 email accounts, and that holds 100 Outlook Microsoft 365 email accounts per domain. So we call this Outlook one the loophole because it has a lot of email accounts on each domain. So it keeps that domain cost down, but you're sending low volume per email account. So I'll explain. Before I explain though, these are the tools that actually run the system. So first off, we purchase our domains with a domain registrar. We use Porkbun. You could also use GoDaddy, Namecheap, Spaceship. There's other domain registrars that are good too, but we use Porkbun. I've always used it, but at the same time, it's just very easy to purchase domains in bulk and manage them in bulk. Expect about $11 per .com domain. .co works as well. And then also watch out for their sales. You could see .co go on sale for $3 to $4 or .com go on sale for around that price as well. So just watch out for the sales. It also pops up on the home screen, but you can get a lower price than $11 per domain. It's only a one-time fee as well. It renews every year. It's not a monthly fee. You're going to be putting those secondary email accounts for the outreach on those secondary domains. And what, again, you'll be using is Google Workspace email, and then also Microsoft 365 Outlook accounts. And the cold email provider that we use to set up the email accounts, connect them and all that stuff is Mailer.io. Their support is great. Prices are good. We really like Mailer. Mailer handles the DNS settings. So the settings that actually make the business email account work and not land automatically and always going to the junk and the spam folder or just not getting sent at all. They set it up so that it ensures that right off the bat, it's going to be going to the primary inbox. Domain forwarding to your main website. So they handle that through a tool called Cloudflare. Then also email warm-up settings are set automatically. And also the email account regular settings when it's safe to send cold emails are set up as well. sending and the AI email account warm-up is handled through an email automation platform, which I was explaining earlier, like SmartLead, Instantly, or what we use, Email Bison. There's a higher barrier to entry. If you're just starting out or it's just your individual company, I would recommend using SmartLead or Instantly. More in depth around the email account setup, the Gmail solution, 20 domains and 3 email accounts per domain. So a total of 60 accounts for Gmail, and then Outlook, 2 domains, 100 email accounts go on each domain, and you get a total of 200 Outlook accounts, totaling 260 secondary email accounts across Gmail and Outlook. And the allocation is about 47% to 53%, with Gmail sending 900 cold emails per day and Outlook sending 1,000 cold emails per day. And what I was saying earlier is that Outlook gets a low volume sending per day, so 5 emails per day per account, and then Gmail sends 15 emails per day, cold emails per day from each account, totaling 1,900 cold emails per day. The warm-up timeline is different for both providers. So Gmail takes 15 days and just warm up before they're ready to start sending cold emails. Once you're ready to start sending cold emails, you need to keep warm-up turned on, but still it takes 15 days from when the account is created and added to your email platform and then in warm-up. Outlook, on the other hand, is a little bit quicker. It's 9 days in pure warm-up before sending cold emails. Then again, you need to keep warm-up on while you're sending cold emails. With our clients, when we're onboarding, we typically say you're going to expect your first batch of leads within 12 days, maybe even sooner. That's because we just need 9 days of email warm-up before being able to send cold emails. And then we also say you'll see an increase in lead flow over the week afterwards because we'll be adding in the Gmail accounts, which take 15 days of pure warm-up before being able to send cold emails. As a recap, 22 secondary domains, 260 secondary email accounts attached to these secondary domains, sending 1,900 cold emails per day. And you should be aiming for about a 7% reply rate or more if it's maintained safely and you have the right setup and you don't adjust the settings from what's recommended or set from that email account provider for cold email. I would say if you're just a regular B2B company and you don't do B2B local service, like a commercial cleaning or a facility service company, and then you can expect a lower reply rate. But if you're a commercial cleaning, janitorial, commercial window cleaning, you're not seeing a 7% reply rate, something's wrong. You should be using what we're using here, but at the same time, something's wrong. So you should be seeing at the minimum 7% reply rates, or maybe your market's just too small. So I want to mention that. That's our rule of thumb, 7% or more. Checklist to go over it. Purchase domains from Pork Bun, secondary domains that are lookalikes. You can have a prefix or a suffix or both to make it a lookalike domain. Set up the email accounts with a cold email provider. Let them do it for you. Let them set up things. Use both Gmail and Outlook to hedge your bet. So if one email account provider is performing worse than the other, you're hedged. Have the email account provider set up warm up for you. So they'll connect it SmartLead, Instantly, or Email Bison and configure all the settings for you. Have the email accounts in warm up by themselves without sending cold emails. And then when they're ready to send, and then you activate, add them to the campaigns and start sending cold emails with the correct settings. Once the email accounts go live, and then simply have about 30% more warm-up emails being sent than cold emails being sent. So you should keep cold emails, or you should keep warm-up emails sending while sending your cold emails to ensure that they stay at a top tier deliverability for the longest period of time. But I'll tell you the truth, with a scaled cold email infrastructure, you need to go into this expecting that these email accounts will eventually deteriorate an email sending reputation and domain reputation. Maybe there'll be some blacklisting. You need to be prepared to be able to figure out which email accounts are performing worse than the others so that you're not just wasting your time on leads with these email accounts sending to the spam folder, the junk folder. Meanwhile, you could have healthy accounts sending to the primary inbox. If you'd rather not have to worry about all of this, learn the skill from scratch and maintain the system, especially when things go wrong, go to the link in the description of this video below. You can schedule in a time on our calendar and we'll talk about how many quality commercial leads we can get you in your service area to turn into recurring contracts. Again, my name is Spencer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.